Hi, my name is Charlotte Jones. I'm a colour, material and finish designer from Callum. And I wanted first of all introduce our business and talk you through a little bit about what I want to talk about today. So here's just a little kind of summary of today. We're going to have an introduction of who we are as a business, why it's important having a sustainable mindset. Then I want to talk you through some projects where we have used sustainable materials and tried to work towards that mindset. So we'll talk through the Callum lounge chair, the mobility hub, Bark, and a case study ourselves that we're working towards at the minute, along with some examples and then a summary. Some of those examples I have brought today, so it'd be great to show you in person as well. So first of all, who is Callum? Out of curiosity, has anyone heard of Callum before today? Ah, fab, that's cool. So Callum is was born with a company of 3 friends 3 years ago that had a vision to create and inspire with the renowned Ian Callum as the design director. Their ambition was to take on projects that were collaborative, creative, innovative and create interesting stories. So from that, Callum is a young and dynamic business offering design and engineering products and services. We provide integrated solutions across a multiple of fields from automotive, lifestyle and travel. We take on projects that intrigue, excite and stir the imagination based on our values. The 4 values are the values at the minute that we stand towards are we design, we engineer, we create. For us, for our friends and for you. Creating stories that stir the imagination through innovative design and engineering. We love taking on projects and ideas where a story sits behind it and has meaning, a soul and lead us to the legacy we want to create. We design with engineering at the fore, yet look beyond the automotive industry to design in all those areas. Here is just a snapshot of the projects that we have been involved in the last 3 years. Why have a sustainability mindset? I think it's important to start with the point to work towards sustainability. The business as a whole must have an open mind to challenge and changes. Sustainability runs from the very start of design through to the finished product. I want to talk today about 3 major points: planet, people and profit. Planet, does a project leave the planet in a better place than when it started? People, a shift in consumers' buying habits and their awareness of the product and the materials behind those. And finally, profit. Waste reduction, circularity and long-term value, along with the many other reasons why it's important to think about sustainability. So first example I want to talk you through is the Callum lounge chair. This was one of the first projects that I was involved in with at Callum as well. My next few slides will show a few examples of what we've worked on with Callum. Firstly, I want to talk about it was a reimagined classic. It was done with the character of Callum product behind it and designed for the real future of the home. First of all, I want to take you through 3 points on this as well: the design stages, the research and the feasibility. What the product will look like, where designers and engineers also have in mind, the research into new materials and traditional ones, and the feasibility. If they would work, talking to suppliers through to engineers, while also working with budgets. The realities that we have to deal with. Here in my first slide, I'm talking through the first initial concept that we came up with. I have a real drive to use sustainable materials in most of our projects. And this is an example using newspaper wood, where they take discarded newspapers and they basically kind of compress them down, and the imagery and the kind of the colorways of that material come from text and imagery from newspapers, old articles and magazines. It creates this beautiful veneer, which also could replace a wood veneer. In itself, it's 100% recyclable, which means it has that circularity to it. We paired it then with 100% wool fabric and then created this chair that you can see in front of you. This is just the concept stage. We then moved on to another design. So these are the images you may have seen on social media and on some of our platforms as well. Another design was to look at using waste plastic to create that curvature of the chair. Now, the thing I really love about waste plastic is here you can really see the whole story. So you can see from the flex in the material itself, is that usually that would be from waste packets, waste bottles, or anything else that can be recycled at that point into the material. And it creates this beautiful effect that's almost, I don't know how to describe it, but I've got some examples at the back to show you. It is stunning when you see it flat. You would never realise where it came from in the first place. We paired this with a more traditional leather. Now, the leather we source is not just any leather. We work with a company that supplies the lowest carbon footprint leather, which I'll talk to you more about in a minute. The key to these stories is how design process started with us at Callum, looking across a real range of materials to find the best solution to the above points: planet, profit, and people. The end product. So this is another few images of the chair. The end product is this chair itself. I've actually sat on the prototype recently and it is beautiful. The end product uses a eucalyptus wood finish veneer. The wood is sustainably managed from European forests, and the leather is from a Scottish company which has the lowest CO2 from a company called Bridgerwear. So let me take you through a little bit more about that leather. We use Bridgerwear across a range of products as well, which include in our automotive products. Bridgerwear actually have the lowest intensity leather at 1.3 kilograms of CO2 per hide. They're forging a new path for working towards better to protect natural resources, sourcing raw hides locally from reasonable suppliers with 100% traceability, as certified by their leather working group. They use sustainable tanning. This is including the introduction of a 100% natural tanning solution for some leather options, while also using energy efficient drums, which save up to 70% energy and 30% of water per hide. All of their wastewater is used into an ultra filter plant, which takes the water from the tannery, recycles up to 40% of the treated water back into production. The rest is processed by Scottish Water and reintroduced to the local water system. So as leathers go, they're pretty good. This is just one step working towards what is classed as traditional material, but sourcing the most sustainable option. The reality is, while people still eat beef, there will always be a byproduct of leather. So why not work towards using the best? In summary, with this chair, we use reasonably sourced leather, Bridgerwear. It was UK made, and it's the future design ambitions to work towards those other sustainable options. Next, I want to talk about the Mobility Hub in collaboration with Transport for West Midlands. This was an exciting project based on reducing the short-term journeys made by car in the West Midlands. On average, the local resident makes 7 to 10 trips by car, less than 2 miles. Our challenge was to create an inviting space to tracking short-distance car dependency to providing more sustainable solutions to growing societal issue. With the world shifting to electric-powered vehicles, we designed a flexible modular urban mobility hub designed to forward-thinking local councils. This is to tackle the project. So from the beginning, we have to tackle the project in the sense of the materials as well as what it would look like on the street. We looked at reusing old containers, creating a new function, whilst all creating a strong, used, reclaimed timber for the design and function. Bike racks for space and greenery as well, so to make it fit into the surroundings. We almost tried to make them look like artwork. We then took the container idea further to allow it for storage for electric scooters and bikes, while adding solar panels for power and growing walls to soften the hard structure. The container idea would also allow for easy movement. So for instance, they could be moved across the whole of the West Midlands, wherever they wanted to position these at the time. The design process grew into a modular idea, with the concept being that you would have a set of pieces which would fit into any space for the mobility hub, allowing a range of spaces to access the facilities. As part of this, we had to look at the materials side as well. There's no point in having a sustainable project that the materials don't fit. So we also looked at recycled plastics at the time. The concept of having the different colours and the flex as well really worked with what we were trying to work with. This wasn't where we ended up going, but it was an idea that we put across. This was actually the final concept where it was modular, so we could put it across very different varieties of spaces. It also meant that depending where the setup was of each place, then you could have the bikes or the scooters, or have it as just a kind of social space, bus stops, coffee shops, and different pieces like that. It meant that less pieces would be used on depending what you needed. So the outcome was we used recycled rubber, it was modular, we offered a green space, and the promotion of sustainable solutions. The next project is the Bark project. We worked in collaboration with Callum. Now, I want to bring this one up in particular because this is us trying to show you how, from a design perspective, we can guide a client to the right decisions when it comes to design, when it comes to the materials as well. In the original thought, the client really loved the original concept, which is here when we have like the silver and the black, and we're using their brand, and we're really pushing this new bike design. But then as soon as we started talking about the options of using a flax carbon fibre and replacement, it just fit the entire story of them being a sustainable solution. I'll take you through this project. This is the Bark Renner Max. It's a modern electric scooter designed for last miles delivery in the Middle East and North African markets. Callum designed a scooter which aims to improve efficiency and reduce costs of the last mile delivery. During this process, we worked through several different material options to solve the problem in those climates, also along with offering sustainable options like the flax. So here is an image of the bike, pre and after as well. Both of these are out at the minute being trialled in the climate to see how much they could work. During this process, so this is a great example of working alongside the client and trying to push them and nudge them into the right decisions when it comes to sustainability. Then finally, I want to talk to you a bit about this project. This is the one that's most exciting for me. It's us trying to kind of bring together as many options in materials so that we can really look at the interior of the car in a very different way when it comes to sustainability. This is the 911 reimagined interior, using materials which have a more positive impact on the environment, embracing natural colour and textures whilst thinking about the story behind each material. To start the process, again, we'll talk through the design stages, the research and feasibility. I have some of these samples here today as well, which if you have time afterwards, would be great to show you and talk you through. This is the initial concept of the car, and then I just will take you through some of the materials that we've used. So firstly, mood boarding. This is us kind of putting in the research and looking at how those colours and those materials will work together in such a function. Obviously, I really wanted to stay close to the as natural colourways as possible and not kind of add too much in the way of chemicals and other additives to those materials. So how we're being used is what is coming out of this, basically. So the first material that I want to talk you through is called plaque. Plaque started his own journey with two twin brothers, Anton and Dennis, when they conducted a study about the textile industry around the world. We consume roughly 62 million tonnes of textiles a year, and 87% of that total fibre input used for clothing is either landfilled or incinerated. Companies such as Plaque take jeans, then shred and press them into potato starch corn, and then add this to a veneer starch, or add this into a veneer to create these seat panels here. This was reimagined to be used on a car dash or potentially other parts throughout the car. Quoted from them themselves, "With innovative design and environmental awareness, we can make change." A fact of the textile industry from Plaque, just that they have on their website, in Europe, there are about 640 million pairs of jeans that would end up in landfill. About 750 million metres of denim that are not even sold annually. Its footprint is 7,000 litres of water, just 1 kilogram of denim. This equals the water requirement of one person for about 6 years. We could argue that the fashions industry footprint is larger than, after the oil industry, is the largest. It's quite scary facts, really. One unusual chair, which is what they call these chairs here, contains 12 pairs of denim jeans, which save up to 16,275 litres of water. I love their saying here that you have a seat for a better tomorrow. It really gets you thinking, what if the automotive industry could take that waste and find a use? So the next material I want to talk you through is Otan. This was founded by Ains Yilmaz, excuse my pronunciation, who took biological waste and reworked it into a new material. Starting out with leaves, the idea developed into a wide range of other materials, such as fruit peels, plant-based expired goods, and grass. With further development of an innovative process in which they managed to turn organic waste into high-quality, commercial viable product. The main objective, to protect natural resources from being depleted and raise awareness about the importance of upcycling organic waste into a circular economy. Imagine a dash top made from coffee pulp or walnut shells that you traditionally find to your plastics. And then lastly, I want to take you through this feline. Sustainable material made from bottle waste. It's almost like that felt material that you can find, but 100% made from waste plastic. It also can be 100% recycled afterwards. The other material that I used in the centre of the seats is from a company called Chimera. Again, taking ocean waste plastic, usually consumer waste, and adding no non-metallic dyestuffs to create a woven textured material. Again, this is all just at concept ideas, but could you imagine if we could take those materials and use them and really take them into the automotive industry? It's one of the biggest industries that we have, and I think we have to start thinking differently. So a few more examples of materials that are used in a minute. Adidas and Pearly. Looking at how they create circularity and working with Pearly to use ocean waste in their clothing and footwear. This is a really great story to see from such an influencer of the retail industry. Made to be remade is creating footwear which can then be returned, broken down, and remade into new footwear. Their future craft is to future reduce the reliance on virgin materials. This product is made from at least 25% recycled materials and coloured in a more sustainable way. Another option is these guys, Smile Plastics. So they take, designed to be sustainable, they take waste plastics from post-consumer and post-industrial sources. These products have a circular life. They usually take single-use plastic and make them into these beautiful panels. The materials again can be recycled back after their usage, so they are 100% recyclable at this stage. We can work towards circular materials which can be repurposed and recycled again. Thinking about a lower CO2 footprint for products. I think the key one here is engaging our clients and education. So discussing with the consumer at the very beginning with the design process. And designing with sustainable materials in mind from the very beginning. I think we have to start thinking differently when it comes to how we design our products in the future. Hopefully it's been interesting. I do want to leave you with one point, is does your product leave the planet in a better place than when it started? Thank you.